My name is Caroline. I'm an ordinary working resident of Haringey and I grew up in N15. I wrote the petition to end the St Anne's low traffic neighbourhood scheme on behalf of my family and friends who live in and around the LTN and who were suffering a terrible social injustice by the LTN being imposed against the will of residents. I have no political affiliation and certainly not the resources at your command. But just by talking with people, we got well over 4,000 people to sign the petition against the LTN. The council, by contrast, with all its resources, managed only to get just over 1,000 responses with less than 800 people agreeing to the damaged LTN you have introduced. You gave us no option to say no. So today I ask you in the name of the majority to end the LTN now. The LTN has been in force for almost 6 months, by which time you said traffic would evaporate. It has not. It has simply moved to make the lives of so many far worse. The LTNs have of course benefited the council to the tune of almost £2 million in fines in 3 months. The council gave 3 reasons for imposing the LTN. 1, to reduce through traffic. 2, to improve air quality. 3, to help people to walk, cycle and shop locally. And all 3 points, the LTN has failed miserably. I will answer these points. 1, through traffic, now gridlocks, green lanes, West Green Road and all the other so-called boundary roads. Traffic journeys are now slower, longer and so more polluting. Emergency vehicles get stuck. And when a boundary road is blocked or has to be closed, traffic simply piles up with no secondary roads to use for vehicles to get away. 2, the LTN forces traffic onto the now overloaded roads and so increases the pollution and there and in the borough generally. Such roads now face greater wear and more repairs, creating more delays and pollution in future. Did the LTN planners not understand that the scheme would make pollution worse? They did because your own report said it would. How did it help the children at West Green School to have a school street on one side but gridlocked, polluted traffic on another? 3, the LTN is turning St Anne's into a dead zone. The businesses on Avenue Road and the corner shop on Galston Road all now face closure, as trade fell off as soon as the LTN started. But the LTN has also had a negative impact on traders on West Green Roads, St Anne's Road and Green Lanes. Who can bear to walk or cycle along heavy polluted roads to shop or sit in cafes and restaurants? Our thriving community is being strangled by these LTNs. I want to make my own points now. A, your documents made no mention of the cost to those who need to get to work. Local buses now face long rush hour delays, cancellations and curtailments. So the LTN only adds to the stresses on ordinary people's lives. B, the more expensive housing in the LTN zone now have quieter streets. But this comes at a cost of the pollution, noise and disturbance to the lives of those wealthy who live on the boundary roads. Our MP, David Lammy, lectured on this topic and called it for what it is in Haringey, environmental racism. The whole LTN idea is based on a lie that traffic has worsened in the borough. It has not, and the Department for Transport admit that since 2001, traffic has fallen across London. Traffic flowed before the LTN because it had the road space. Now it doesn't flow, of all the social ills that brings, like the extra tons per year of CO2 emissions that we must now breathe on the so-called boundary roads. D, there was no mandate for the LTNs. You broke the idea of government by consent when you forced LTNs on us. Look at the response: protests, widespread discontentment and direct action against cameras. This is what happens, civil disobedience, when you are unjust. You showed no care for the wishes of the majority of residents, nor any understanding of the effects that would have on those of us who have to go to work, get children to school, are disabled, have carers, travel by bus, and juggle time to even get to the shops.
You're over your 5 minutes. Have you finished?
I've nearly finished.
Okay. Very quickly, please.
Councillor Hakata has said the LTN is an experiment, but we suffer residents have had enough of being treated like lab rats in this mad LTN scheme. Do not divide us into desirable and non-desirable zones. I thank you for your time. The scheme's on a temporary order. You have the power to end it. So tell us you will do it now. Tear down the barriers, tear down the cameras, free our streets so we can move and breathe.
Thank you, Caroline.